So good morning. We have a MLK panel this morning. And can each of you please introduce yourselves?
My name is Jonathan Westhall. I'm the Vice President of Ancillary Services here at MLK. I've been here for 3.5 years.
This is Hector Cordon. I'm Director of Environmental Services, Special Transportation and Leading, and I've been here for a little over 3 years as well.
Good morning. My name is Rene Padilla, Manager of Facilities, and I've been here for 3 years.
Good morning. My name is Mark Reed. I'm the Director of Support Services, also been here for 3 years.
My name is Maurice Wright. I also go by the name of Mo. I've been here for over 3 years, and I'm Emergency Management Coordinator.
So my first question is, why did you guys choose the career you have right now?
Mark, kick that off here up front.
So I'd say I probably didn't choose the career, as more of the career just chose me. Like most things in life, I think it just happened to be, the right timing and the right opportunity. I can say that when I was in high school, I never once thought I was going to end up working at a hospital. But just as life progressed, I knew an individual, and he reached back out over some time, and he had a job opening, and he offered me a job, and the fit was right, and the pay was right, and the timing was right. So that's how I ended up in healthcare.
I can go on that one, and in my case, I was out of necessity. I needed a job, and I started working as a housekeeper. Back in the day, many years ago, I was a regular housekeeper. I was cleaning floors and toilets, and I worked my way up.
Just to give you a brief history, when I went to college, I was going to college for accounting, and I did air conditioning to pay my way through college. Once I did accounting, I didn't like what I was doing, so I went back to air conditioning. And then little by little, as I started working as a contractor within hospitals, I kind of had the effect of looking outside, from looking at on the outside, looking at the window inside, and saw how great of a career path it was to work for a hospital, and that's how I ended up here.
I didn't kind of ever think I would end up in a healthcare either. I worked in security mostly. I moved to Los Angeles from the East Coast. I ended up working for PlayStation for a few years, doing their security and safety stuff, which is a really cool job. You get to play video games in the morning, and then in the afternoon, do a little bit of work. But those jobs don't last forever. So I ended up working for a healthcare system in Pasadena. And then eventually when they opened up the new MLK hospital over here, they were recruiting folks over here, and here I am.
This career chose me also. I've done many things, which I'll get to on the next questions, but this was one of the first, at least working at the hospital or in healthcare was one of the first jobs where I felt like I was giving back. And I have a very team mentality or giving. So actually being in the hospital, working in the hospital felt good instead of just getting paid. Of course, we want to get paid, but I was able to give back also. So that's how I chose this career path.
Is it my turn? Yeah. Hi, good morning. I'm Sharon Johnson, and actually I wanted to be a dietitian, which is a nutritionist as well. And so when I went to college, I majored in nutrition. And once I got into college, realized that there was other career paths that I could take as a nutritionist. So I ended up going into the hospitality industry and did that for a number of years, and then circled back into the hospital as the Director of Food and Nutrition Services. And so sometimes that's a career path that when you talk about hospitality, you don't think about, but it's very rewarding. And I enjoy being here. And like Maurice said, giving back to the community is very important to me. So I've been able to have a win-win.
My next question is, was your current dream career, the same as in high school, which is now?
I'll take that first. No, I'm sitting down, you can't tell, but I'm 6'8" and 3/4. I say I'm 6'9". So my career was, I knew I was going to the NBA. I played basketball almost all of my life. So in my mind, it was all about basketball. So That did not work out. So no. Yeah, for whatever reason. But no, my dream job was something else.
I'll go next. My dream job in high school. So I grew up in Burbank, and we have a lot of movie studios out there, Warner Brothers, Disney. I wanted to be a set designer. I wanted to set design for films, for movies, theme parks. Once I started researching in high school and seeing what it took, it just something didn't call me to it, and here I am today.
I second that one. I don't think anybody has a mind to be a housekeeper as a career, but that's how I started. And then working your way up, you can see there is opportunities and make a decent living. So that's how I end up in this career, which I love now.
I actually, when I was in high school, I was going to become an attorney. And I had that mindset when I did go to college. My mindset was to go to college, make some money, save some money, go to law school. I did go to a year of law school, and it wasn't right for me. And so I continued with the hospitality industry because I just felt like I could touch people, see them smile, they were engaging, it was fun. I became a special events planner. So I enjoyed that. So no, I was going to be an attorney.
I didn't really have a dream job in high school. I didn't want to be in school. I didn't like school. I wasn't dedicated to it. I didn't put the time in that I should have, for sure. And I didn't really have a lot of direction in high school where I thought I want to play basketball. I want to be an athlete. I want to be an attorney. I just wanted to, day to day, I just wanted to wake up the next day and wake up the next day and move forward. So I ended up in the Army right after high school because it's kind of a good place to go when you don't have a lot of direction or you don't have a lot of ideas. There wasn't any money in my family for college, so the idea that someone was going to pay for me to go to school wasn't a real thing. I wasn't very good at sports, and I didn't really have good grades, so I wasn't getting any scholarships, and I wasn't really dedicated to school. But when I met with a recruiter for the military, I found out I could do 4 years in the Army. You could travel a little bit, and then they would pay for college on top of that. So I got a paycheck, a place to live, 3 meals a day, and at night I could take night classes and go to school and get a degree that way. So I know this was not a dream career for me. I didn't, like I said, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. But after meeting with the recruiter, I knew at that time school wasn't exactly for me. The idea that I was gonna wake up and go to class every day, I didn't have the mindset for that. So the military was a good option for me.
So kind of similar to John, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. Nothing really interested me one way or the other. But I had a full ride scholarship to college. So when I met with my counselors, they said, well, you're really good at math and you should be an engineer. And so I went to college to go be an engineer, and then found out pretty quickly in college that I did not like engineering at all. So kind of drifted for a little bit, and then like John, when you need direction, I joined the military, and that really helped point me in a better direction.
Okay, I think they're a little bit frozen for me, but hi, I didn't get to introduce myself earlier. My name is Jocelyn. I am also a senior ambassador along with Nina. And the question that we would like to ask is, how has COVID-19 impacted your careers versus like how it was prior to the where did they go?
Well, maybe they lost connectivity. Let's see if they're back. We'll play the music here. So we will pause like with all of their technical difficulties, and I'm sure they will rejoin. I see Ms. Johnson is still connected, or at least her office is, and hopefully the panel can come back shortly.
Well, that is so interesting that most of them never had that career path in mind.
Very interesting, even about deciding what to do.
Here they
You're
come.
back. Yay. All right, Jocelyn, you're back on. You probably need to start over with your intro.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jocelyn. I am also a senior ambassador along with Nina. So a question that we have for you is, what was your job like prior to COVID-19, and how has it impacted your careers as the year has gone by?
I'll adjust the camera down a little bit. Yeah. So I'll start with that. The COVID-19, what was our job like before that? Our job was, I don't want to say routine before that, but we kind of had a cadence. You had these certain meetings you knew you went to. You knew that every 9 a.m. day you started off with a daily huddle, and then you had like budget meetings at 3 o'clock. It was very structured. And COVID-19 changed all that. All of a sudden, we were seeing, instead of seeing, 100 patients a day in the ED, now we have 400 and they all have to be admitted. We couldn't just build a building the next day. So it became very different every day. You think on your feet, have to move, hustle, you know what I mean? I think that's what kind of kept the job interesting. I mean, obviously, I wish COVID-19 was never a thing, for sure, but unfortunately, the reality is it is. None of us planned to be in healthcare, and no one in this room. None of us are doctors. None of us are nurses. None of us went to high school saying I'm going to be in a hospital. But I know at least most of my friends, they're out of work. Their parents are out of work. Their brothers, their sisters are out of work. And it's a blessing to have a job. And to have a job you can go to every day that is meaningful work. And you know what I mean? You're helping people. People who don't have insurance or have no other place to go, they can come here and get treatment and get care. So that part of the mission here has never changed, but it really amped up with COVID-19. And like I said, the idea that every day now there was a new challenge. Things that have never been an issue here. Oxygen. Hospitals get oxygen delivered every day. It's very routine. You get 50 tanks and you trade out 50 empty tanks. So all of a sudden we can't find oxygen. We're driving we're out in San Bernardino looking for oxygen. Renee's sending people up to Ventura to try and get oxygen. We're showing up at the plant and just basically banging on the door saying, we haven't got a delivery, give us anything you have. So it's kind of the ability to think outside the box and non-traditional ways to buy things. Hospitals buy supplies and PPE and big products from these big organizations that they've always bought for. It's very rare that a hospital just goes online and tries to find things. We had people sitting in a room on Amazon Prime trying to figure out, like, how do I get gloves here in 2 days? Like, that's crazy to think. I work in a hospital that is a $400 million a year company, and I can't figure out where to get gloves. Like, that's nuts. So COVID-19 really brought new problems to the forefront for us that we never thought we'd have to deal with. But like I said, he kept it interesting. He kept us on our feet, kept us running. Some long days, but I think we're on the back end of all that now.
For me, the biggest challenge, when the biggest change happened with my team members, I have almost 100 employees, and we had a good relationship with the employees. But once COVID-19 hit and some of the employees started to lose their loved ones, we had to become very sensitive and change our thought process of when an employee looks sad. You couldn't just go, okay, perk up, you got to get back to work. We had to maintain a sense of sensitivity, allow them a chance to grieve while they were still being essential workers. So I think the biggest change for us in our department has been to be more compassionate and have more empathy for the people that you work with.
For me, my main function here at MLK is to make sure that the building infrastructure utilities are all operating so the hospital can run, essentially in a nutshell. Where it changed for me was that I had to now protect the environment to protect the caregivers. The caregivers are out there, frontline workers with patients dealing with COVID. It was my job to protect them. Again, COVID was not a great thing, but luckily I got to see ahead what New York was going through, what Italy was going to, bless you, to see
what improvements I could make to our hospital to ensure that they were safe. So when I would go home and watch the news, it wasn't to inform myself of what was going on. I was actually looking at the hospitals and see what they were going through and trying to predict and be in front of the game to make sure that everybody was safe. So that's how it changed for me.
One of the changes that we had also is you have to be able to adapt to different things. We were short of isolation gowns, so we had to go many different places, small factories, try to get them done, and drive overnight if we had to get where we needed to get the hospital going. So that's a thing that you have to be able to adapt to different things.
I was recently promoted for at least for the second surge in the winter to emergency manager, and COVID was just about to hit the second surge, and that became my job. It was one of the things that I'm over or have to work hand in hand with this pandemic. So it changed my job as far as learning things that I would never thought I didn't know the different things like respirators. I can explain respirators now, the different types, much more than I could a year ago because I just thought a respirator was a respirator. But when you need them and they weren't a certain kind, I have to know why you need a certain kind. When like you were saying, isolation gowns, I had to know a little bit about everything because I'm in charge of emergency management and I don't have the luxury of saying I don't know. So my bosses or hospital leadership say, what's going on with this? I really can't say I don't know. So just learning a little bit about everything, not a master of anything, but a little bit of everything impacted me greatly. So that was one of the things that definitely changed my role because I didn't know any of it. So the way I learned how to swim in real life was I got pushed in the pool at a young age. Same thing with this job. I just got pushed in and I learned how to swim. Marcus.
Let's do the next question.
Well, based on your responses, I can tell all you guys are passionate about your job and your career. And which leads me to my next question is, what motivates you to work in your career choice every day?
So I think there's some internal motivations, sure, for all of us. I think we'll all get into that. But let's all be honest. We all have rent, right? We all have bills to pay. So this job paid better than my last one, which is what drew me here. It's not what keeps me here because I've got odd job offers for more money other places. You get a sense of belonging here. You work with good people every day. You get a chance to build the team you're around. You can go work at some other let's take healthcare, for example, right? Martin Luther King Hospital in Compton is very different than Cedars-Sinai up on the west side. Very different population of people, different. The money there is different. All of it's different. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing about Los Angeles. You can go 10 miles north and you're a totally different country almost. You can go 10 miles east, a whole nother area. Like the diversity here is amazing. That's what drew me to move here. But I think what motivates you is here you actually see people you help. You're going to see essentially regulars at the hospital. You're going to see families who come in and they don't have another place to go. They don't have a doctor's office down the road that they can just go, oh, I don't like this doctor, I'll get a new one. You know what I mean? So the ability to give back. But on the back end, you need to give back to your family too. You need to support your family. You know what I mean? You deserve to put in hard work and have the money to take a vacation, you know what I mean, sometime every year or kind of take yourself out once in a while. So definitely, I mean, I think anybody tells you that they don't care about finances in their job already has more money they know what to do with. You know, we all care about money to a point, but that's not what's going to keep you at a job. It might lure you there, but it's not what keeps you.
I'd also say, I mean, it kind of goes in line with the next question is we're able to hear the teams that we work with and our coworkers, our peers, you know, everyone's driving towards the same mission, kind of on the same page. And when you have that, you know, bond or that interaction coming to work every day, it's not a job, you know, it's easy. You know, like we're all here to do the best we can and make a difference. And when you're making that kind of impact, it's just so rewarding that, you know, it's nice to get paid, but I mean, money's not the only thing.
For me, I love new things. I'm kind of a nerd. So just learning new things all the time and having something new is good. It's definitely motivation to build myself. But also, as Jonathan mentioned, just the community. I grew up not too far from here. My mother still is on 112th and Central in walking distance. So being able to help the community that my family lives in is a big deal to me.
One of the motivating factors for me is a challenge. I love challenges because with the challenge, you have to find a solution. You're not always going to find the right one, but you'll eventually get there. So especially to go back to the last question with COVID, watching CNN and seeing some of the ideas that I came up with that my team put together, the tents outside, to see CNN on a national scale promoting that, it gives you a sense of pride, a sense of self-worth. So that's one of the biggest takeaways there. Another thing for me is the example that I set. I have children, I have sisters, I have brothers, I have cousins, they have kids, and so on and so forth. So it's an example that you're setting. Every day during COVID, I'd get texts, I'd get care packages from family members because they knew what we were going through. They knew the challenges that we were facing. But that was the motivating factor for me. On top of that, to be able to, you can say, 10 years from now, I had a hand in helping this community get through COVID, helping this hospital get through COVID and educating, going from there. We just finished up the caring for COVID and now we're vaccinating the community. So to be a part of that, it's something major, and it's a great factor for your self-worth.
For me, it's basically providing a service of excellence. The hospital is new, and there's just a lot of great programs that, because it's a new hospital, that they are able to create that maybe at a bigger hospital, the program might not be able to get off the ground. So being at a mid-sized hospital and being able to work with colleagues, if you have an idea, it gets like, yeah, let's go for it. That's exciting to work with team members that listen to your ideas, and then you see the ideas go forward, similar to what Renee said. So that's what keeps me coming every day. And there are lots of choices out there, but if you have an idea, people say, yeah, go for it. And that's a great feeling when you're in a work environment.
I know you guys talked about how
you can go on. So our next question would be, so it seems like a lot of your guys' jobs are very people oriented. So how do you guys maintain good relationships with your coworkers?
I think every job you ever have, unless you sit in a cubicle with a computer all day, is going to be people oriented. I think the biggest benefit I've ever had in my career is being able to talk to people, is being able to connect with people. When I got offered this job, it was over things like laboratory, respiratory. I know nothing about that. There are people who work for me. I have no idea what they do. And if they put me in their job, I couldn't do it. But my skill set is people management, right? I don't need to know everybody who works for each other. There are hundreds of people who work for me. I don't know what they all do, and I couldn't do their job. But that's not the benefit. So I think being people oriented, stopping and just saying good morning to somebody, or sitting and having a coffee with, you know what I mean, somebody's having a bad day. You don't even know sometimes what that does for people. Buying somebody a coffee at lunch, that speaks eons. Because sometimes people look, oh, that guy doesn't even know my name. That's one of the executives. He doesn't even know who I am. Well, if I stop and just say hi to you sometimes, or what are you up to, or what'd you do this weekend, or it used to be, did you watch the Lakers game, or did you go to this concert, did you do this? Like, obviously that hasn't happened in a while, but I think being people oriented and being able to connect with all types of people across all spectrums is the biggest skill set you develop. You can know everything in a book. You can read every single book in the world, and you can spout out facts all day. But if you can't hold a conversation and look someone in the eye and connect with them, you're never going to be able to manage them.
To Jonathan's point, you guys will be early in your careers, but there's a big saying, and it is true. Most of the time when people quit, they don't quit because of the salary. Oftentimes, they don't quit because of situations that are the work they have to do. They quit people. So if you don't have great people skills or great leaders above you, that's what people quit. That's what they really quit as you progress in your career, is how you're being treated. And to Jonathan's point, if someone can just say your name, it makes you feel connected. And you'll see that over time, that every job's not the best job just because you're getting paid a great salary. You want the environment to feel good as you come to work and you're doing your service to what you're working with.
Piggyback off of what they said is respect. You have to have respect for each other. You may not, you can try your best to have someone respect you, but if everybody took that approach to have respect, you wouldn't need to have somebody or to push somebody to respect you, but you got to respect each other. With that, you have to have an open mind, because you're going to have a problem that you may not have a solution at that moment. Think of it like a movie where, someone's under an alien attack and we're out of ammunition, and, Mo might suggest, what are you eating potato chips and you want some? And I came up with the idea to use potatoes as ammo or something, and that's how it works. You have a problem presented with you, and you work as a team, you respect each other, and if you have an open mind, because a lot of the time we feel like we know the answer and our answer is the only way, and that a lot of the times that's not true. So if you have an open mind and you respect, you'll get so much more, you'll intake so much more, you'll have better solutions for any of your challenges.
I agree with Renee. When it comes to maintaining your relationships, respect is one of the key things, because of different genders, different ages, different growing up in different ways. Everybody may have a different background, that you may think differently. However, respect is one thing they have in common. But the whole premise of respect is not disrespect. So if you can respect somebody else, even if somebody was raised in Arkansas and I was raised in New York, and we talk differently, or we have a language barrier, we can still understand each other from respect. And also, one of the other ways to keep things, at least for me, that works relationships, is food. Everybody likes to eat. So finding a common denominator through food is even if we don't talk the same language, literally, we can agree on food. Well, at least I can.
Same here. Respect, be nice, always. I can be having a bad day, but nobody knows that I'm always smiling. So it's always be nice.
So our audience are juniors, and what key points do you want our students to take from your presentation? And do you see the value in students learning things that can help prepare them for the future?
So I say yes, 100%. I think these type of panels are excellent. They're examples of paths you can follow. Not everybody here, none of you might end up working in a hospital or healthcare, like I said, but if you look around this table, everybody here is beyond different. I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. Renee's from Burbank. Hector grew up in Guatemala. Hector came here at 18 years old and didn't speak a word of English, and now owns multiple houses and drives a Mercedes. So the idea that you grew up in Los Angeles, everybody on this call, you live in LA. There's more money to be made and more opportunity in Los Angeles, California than anywhere in the world. We were already blessed being born here, being healthy and being able to work. We're ahead of 95% of the world already. So I think the 2 points that I think people should take away from presentations like this is one, if you're going to start something, finish it, even if you hate it. I had a really good job that ended for me when I was 27 years old and I moved to LA. I didn't know a single person. I didn't have any connections. I didn't have a job. I needed a job. I went and took a minimum wage job at Sears. I had a master's degree and I worked at Sears and I drove Uber at night. It was a humbling experience. A month before that, I'd managed 400 people and a budget of $30 million, and I thought I was king of the world. Well, that job ended, and that was that. So the idea that you're too good for any job is not a thing. Be humble. And sometimes you have to put the work in. Did I want to be a guy who had a 7-year master's degree driving Uber at night? No, it was terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. I hated it. But it's what I had to do because I had bills. I had rent. I needed to eat. So I think that. And then the second point is, if someone presents you an opportunity in your life, take it. Whether you think you can do it or not, take the opportunity and figure it out. When I got offered a vice president job at Martin Luther King Hospital, I knew nothing about the hospital. Well, I knew nothing about, like I said, laboratory, the food and nutrition, Sharon's dietitians that work for me. I don't know anything about it. They have more school than I do. But you know what I mean? Like I said, the people connection and my skill set is not there. But I think when someone offers you a job, don't second guess yourself. Or someone offers you an opportunity, take it and finish it. You know what I mean? Give your 2-week notice when you're going to leave a job. Don't just say, oh, I'm leaving that job and not show up. You know what I mean? Go to the last day of school. I get nothing happens on the last day of school. I got it. But it's still the last day and you're expected to be there. You know what I mean? Fulfill your commitments. So I think those are the biggest takeaways. Fulfill your commitments and take every opportunity offered to you, because you never know where it's going to go. You know, everybody in this room, for the most part, I kind of knew before. You know, I mean, Hector had come and applied at a different hospital I worked at, and in talking to him, the opportunity ended up coming up for him a month later here, which was better than the one he would have got before. Mark, the support services guy, he was my boss 12 years ago in Arizona when we both lived in Arizona. And I remembered, I need a security director. I need a guy who knows this. Well, here's a guy I worked for 12 years ago who was my boss, who this is a good opportunity for him. So I think that's key. Never turn down an opportunity.
Very similar to what Jonathan said for me. Today becomes tomorrow really, really fast. So, yes, I think it's good to talk to you guys about this because as I was telling you in high school, I knew what I was doing. I was going to the NBA, and that's all I planned for. I went to 2 different colleges playing basketball in 3 different countries, chasing the dream of the NBA. And when that didn't happen, I didn't know what I was going to do. I ended up being Floyd Mayweather's bodyguard because I didn't have anything else. I was just big because I didn't plan for anything else but basketball. So definitely preparing for the future. And if you have a goal, if it's something like the NBA, I would definitely say don't not chase your goal, but also plan for it, make sure it's bulletproof, and get your education. Go to school, finish. I went to 2 colleges and didn't finish either one of them. So definitely finish as you go to school because that's the big deal moving on. So it's definitely good. This conversation is, yes, to answer the question, I think it's really good.
And I would say, when you said a question about learning things to prepare you for the future, I think that's the biggest key is diversify yourself and learn as much as you can that prepares you for those opportunities that you might not expect. Like we all said, no one sat here and said, I want to work in healthcare. But here we are. And, we position ourselves throughout our careers to take these positions because we learn different things and we're open to new opportunities. I think that was key, and I'd recommend that to all of you. Learn new things, try new things, diversify your skills. So that way you're that much more employable and while you're still figuring out what it is you want to do.
Mine is similar to Mark, and mine is never stop learning. Don't have the finish line mentality. Hey, I'm done with high school. I'm done. Never stop learning. Everything's always changing. Everything's always evolving. My phone here, I remember having the first iPhone and that technology changed. And as what we're on number 12 now, I had to learn about this technology. So never stop learning. You're always going to constantly learn. Embrace it. Don't go with the mentality like, oh, great, here we go again. No, embrace it. Knowledge is so much power. Knowledge is really, really power. So if you guys just don't stop learning, and the finish line mentality. You don't see LeBron James, he wins one title and retires. No, he wants the next one and the next one and the next one. So do that with your goals. When you set goals for something, maybe you don't want to set this giant goal, but make smaller goals. When you hit that goal, go on to the next goal. So don't ever think that, I met this goal, I'm done, that's it. Continue.
I would like to encourage all of you to be excellent at what you do. I think Mark's point about diversify your knowledge is a key point, but be excellent at what you do. We live in a global economy, so your competition for jobs and opportunities are not just going to come from the people you went to high school with or from people just in California. It's going to come from all over the world. But if you're excellent and really great at what you do, the opportunities will come for you. I got this opportunity. I had owned a company before, and then I closed my company, and I hadn't been working with a colleague for 12 years. But because I was excellent at what I did when I made that phone call, they were like, of course, we'd like to have you. You're exceptional and you're excellent. And excellence is a key money maker for you. So be excellent, be sharp, be on your game, relentless about your craft. And friends, and you can call somebody 20 years later, like the relationship Mark and Jonathan have, and they'll hire you like that. So be excellent. Don't shortchange yourself. And, oh, I don't want to work today. Stay on top of your game.
And whatever you do it with passion. I mean, when I was a housekeeper, it was a dirty floor. I was going to make that floor the best floor. I was going to clean that toilet and make it really nice and clean. Didn't matter. I didn't want to do it. I mean, nobody wants to be cleaning toilets, but that was my job, and I had to make sure that it was done properly and correctly and a good time. So whatever you do it 100%. Don't short it.
Okay, so this would, this question is piggybacking onto what Nina asked, but for me and Nina, do you have any college advice? You know, we're 3 months prior to our graduation, and we just want to know what you guys would like to share with us, maybe if you have any.
So I think for college, the key is go. Go and finish it. Mo hit on it there. He had an opportunity at 2 colleges. Mo's about to be a grown man back in class again because the promotional opportunity and the more money in Mo's life are going to require him to have a degree. Mark hit that. So I think the key part about college, I didn't want to go to college. Like I said, I didn't even want to go to high school, never mind college. But once I found out the Army was going to pay for some of it, okay, I'll take some classes. You know what I mean? Or it got me out of running 17 miles with a backpack on. Cool, I'll go to college class. That sounds better. But I'm telling you, a degree is going to be required. You always hear about, oh, Steve Jobs dropped out of Harvard. Bill Gates didn't finish college. Elon Musk didn't go. Those people are born geniuses. And maybe there's a genius in that room. I don't know. But there's not a genius in this room. There's not. You know, I mean, we're smart. We're hardworking people. But Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, they dropped out of Harvard. That means they were too good for Harvard. Most of us are not even good enough to get in Harvard. And they were too good. So don't take those examples. They come up on Instagram for me all the time. You know, I mean, I didn't finish college, but the people who work for me do. Okay, I got it. You're the richest guy in the world. Cool. But for the reality is, most jobs are going to require you to have a degree. Most. I mean, it's the way of the world at this point. And if you're unsure what you want to do and you're not laser focused, I want to be an attorney, I want to be a biologist, I want to be a doctor, just get a degree, get a business degree, get a general degree. Because when you walk into an interview, or even before that, when you're applying for a job, right? So I hire like for a manager position. LinkedIn's going to send me 800 resumes. Do you think I look at 800 resumes? No, I don't. I weed people out immediately. I'm only want to look at 10 resumes, right? Well, these 10 people got bachelor's degrees and these 700 don't. Well, here's an easy way for me to just take out 700 people. And the best candidate might be one of the people I'm throwing away. I don't know that. But I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the time to look at every single resume. That's the reality. So I know college, some people think it's pointless or, oh my God, it costs this much money or this or this. I had student loan all my master's degree. You know what I mean? Student loans, they're not great. I'm not going to tell you they're wonderful or the American education system is, you know what I mean, top notch, but it is what it is. So you know what I mean? The idea we're all going to fight the system and change it, there are going to be improvements year over year, yes, but go to college, get the degree. Once you get that degree, you get a good enough job. I paid my student loans off in 2 years. So the idea that like, oh, student loan debt is crippling and you can't do that. No, you get a job where you get bonuses, you get sign-on bonuses. I didn't go to Coachella every year with my friends. I didn't drive a new BMW every year. No, I kept an older car. You know what I mean? I watched Coachella on YouTube. It was cool. Like, you know what I mean? Then you got to the point where I was going to them. Then you start getting the jobs where you're sitting in the VIP tents alone. It's even better than being out in the mix. You know what I mean? So go to college, finish it. Even if you have to get the student loans, cool, get them. And then you just pay them back. It's a loan. You sign for it. You pay for it, and then you're done.
I went to college right out of high school. And so for me, it wasn't an option. It was, in our family, it was where you're going to go. So right out of high school, I went to college. Now, my parents, they had more than one child. So I couldn't afford to go to my 4-year university right out of high school. I had to go to a junior college first. I took some of my elective courses. I got them out of the way. And then I was able to transfer to my college of choice. And so I paid for my junior college courses and then went to my university and finished. And right out of college, I got a job and then got my master's degree later on in life. But like John is saying, the time is going to go by no matter what. So it's better for the time to go by and you have a degree under your belt to help you search for your passionate dream, job, career, entrepreneurship, all of that with a degree. That is crucial. And if you don't have the funds, like he's saying, get a loan. You can go to a junior college first. There's nothing wrong with community colleges and then transferring later on if that's an option for you. If you're lucky enough to be going to a 4-year college, that's great, but finish.
I agree with Sharon, especially with the junior college route and some junior colleges, and there's some really good junior colleges in Los Angeles. If you're not going straight to a 4-year, going to a junior college is a good route. Sometimes you get better, you learn more because the classes are smaller, and it's cheaper. So if you don't want to take that loan, but also to answer your question, you should definitely go to college. And if you go to a 4-year, at some point when you go to your 4-year university, you should try to go away if possible, because there's a lot of growing up. I went away and I was from here and I went to North Arizona with flip-flops and t-shirts thinking it's Arizona, and North Arizona gets cold. But my mother did my laundry and my cooking and my cleaning. So a lot of stuff I had to grow up. So some of those things you need to do, so you should try to go. I'm not saying go across the world or across the country, but definitely if you can live on campus, even if you stay in Los Angeles, live on campus or close to campus, just to get away, just to grow up a little bit, get your own. You guys probably want to get out the house anyway, but just grow up, just get your own experience. You learn a lot from those things, and then you start appreciating some things a little more. So, but yes, for college, definitely I would encourage you to go.
Don't worry about getting lost. You're as Sharon went, she wanted to be a lawyer, and look at where she's at now. Don't worry about getting lost. Don't worry about not having the full plan. It's going to change, and that's okay. That's okay. Don't be afraid of it. That's what kept me back from finishing college right after high school, was the fear of, well, I'm going in this direction and I don't really like it, and that's it. I pulled out. I got my associate's degree and that was it. Now here I am, 37. I'm back into school, which I love, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. The best that you could do is network, attend something like this, any programs that your college or high school will offer, so that you can get different insight, different views. It's always good to see through somebody else's eyes. So that way you can find clarity in the event that you get lost, but don't fear that. The path will correct itself.
So I'm going to share what one of my freshman college professors shared with me, and I wish I would have followed his advice. If you show up to class every single day, you're going to pass that class. There's no secret in college. It's not, you got to study till the wee hours of the morning. If you show up every single day to every class, your odds of passing that class are that much bigger. There's a lot of stuff going on in college. There's a lot of, opportunities to not go to class, to hang out with friends, or there's this activity over there. Know why you're there. Stay focused. Show up every day. Put in the work, and you'll pass those classes, and you won't waste that time. That's probably the best advice I can give when it comes to college. Whatever it is you want to do, show up every day, and you will do well.
Well, I appreciate that advice because me and Jocelyn will be starting college in the fall. And I know for me, I want to go into business and hopefully start one of my own, but I'll definitely keep in mind to be open to all options and opportunities that will come, and also go to college too. So another question I have is, what are some good memories that you have? That it could be good or bad, but what are some good memories that you guys remember?
College, or just in general?
In college or in your career?
I have some good memories from college. just being there. So those of you who go, which hopefully all of you do, get involved. Right? I'm not saying pledge a sorority or a fraternity, but just get involved. Find those group of people that you agree with. I was a nerd in school, but I was popular. But I could find the computer nerds I like. I'm a gamer, so hey, let's game, or the basketball people. But get involved in whatever it is. Don't just go to college and go to your dorm, or you can go home. Make some new friends, because you'll meet people. I still talk to my teammates and friends I met from college still today. So I would definitely say that was very memorable, because you meet new people, new friends. As far as career, be giving. One questions that I ask almost everybody is, do you need anything? Do you need anything? Because one, you become valuable. Two, you'll start doing some stuff that you don't normally do. You'll learn some new things, as Renee was talking about earlier. And the more you learn, again, the more valuable you are. And I like being valuable.
I think Mo hit on a good point. It kind of also brings back good memories, is leave. Go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Check out the rest of the world. I mean, like I said, Los Angeles is an amazing, diverse place. It's like any other place in the world, where you could be all one block in one neighborhood and then go 2 blocks over in a different neighborhood, and it literally feels like a different world. You know what I mean? You got the beach 20 minutes that way, and the mountains and snow and skiing an hour the other way. But I grew up in Boston, like I said, and I never left my entire life. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't travel. We didn't do nothing. I lived in the same 6 blocks. I could walk to everything in the world. There was no need to ever leave. And then my first assignment in the Army was Kansas. I had no idea where Kansas was. I had to get a big map out and figure out where they asked if I wanted to go hunting and fishing. I'd never fished. I'd never hunted. I knew nothing about, like, I thought that was like redneck hillbilly stuff, that we were going to go wake up at 3 a.m. and shoot at deer. I couldn't understand why anybody would do that when you can just go to the grocery store and buy meat. But understanding and seeing like how people live. The United States is a huge place. You know what I mean? Different parts of this country are different worlds. So if you get the opportunity to travel and go somewhere, your opportunities are not just here. Los Angeles is an amazing place, and I wanted to live here for 10 years before I got here. But I've lived in 11 states. I've had opportunities that have come up in different states all the time. And don't get me wrong, right now, if the right opportunity came up, I would leave here too. You know what I mean? Check out somewhere new, somewhere I've never been. You get more of a well-rounded person. You get more experiences once you get out there and you see different places, meet different people. You know what I mean? The different foods, the different cultures. You know what I mean? Everybody does things different. So I think Mo hit a good point. Some of my best memories have been just landing in a new state, not knowing anybody, and then going out and meeting people, or checking out new stores or new clothes or new. I mean, it's so different out there. So see it all. Don't get confined to a box.
The biggest takeaway I have from my career before joining MLK is my exposure and experience of having a hospitality special events company. And I got a chance to meet people like Maya Angelou, Claretta Scott King, Barbara Bush, tons of different people that we see on television, or political activists. Just Reverend Jesse Jackson used to be one of my customers. Just a lot of different people doing activities for Cesar Chavez and that foundation. You just get a chance to tap into some people that are out there really making an impact and change on the world. And so that's been my lasting memories of being able to be a part of something related around providing great food, healthy food for organizations, but they were out there on the front lines to help change America, or to provide, literature that was going to make you think and become a better person in the process. And so that's my biggest takeaway of what I do. And I get to do it here as well. Our hospital's in the middle of South Los Angeles, but we've had a great exposure to all of the California political connection. They come here sometime to check out the hospital.
To the respective time, I'll keep it short, but I kind of want to go on the other side of the spectrum. One of the memories that I had from not finishing school was seeing my friends on Facebook, MySpace at the time, doing stuff that I wasn't. I know that's how far back it goes. Doing stuff that I wasn't doing. They were traveling through programs at school. Deep sea diving with oceanography class. So do it. Don't have any reservations that, oh no, I want to start my adult life early. No, do the programs, step out of your comfort zone, have an open mind, and take full advantage of what the school's offering you.
Yep, don't be afraid. That's the main thing. Take a chance and move forward.
2 minutes.
Okay, so at this time, we will take questions in the chat if anybody has any. Well, thank you guys for presenting with us today. It feels really good for people to share your experiences with us and just letting us know kind of like what the real world is going to be like when we leave high school. Like when you said venture out, I'm going to college an hour away, but it's a completely different city. I've lived in Compton my entire life. My family has been here my entire life. And being a first generation college student is really great to me. I got accepted to my dream school this past weekend, UC Irvine. That's where I'll be going.
Nice work.
But it just feels good to know that there are people that have had completely different experiences, but it still worked out for them. So I'm hoping that for me and Nina, maybe, you know, something along the way will tell us, you know, what our future is going to be like. We're always going to, you know, be open to options, but I think most of us kind of have what we need to understand like how college is going to be like, especially because of how our school has prepared us.
Good. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Awesome.
Well, thank you
Yes, I
so much.
appreciate
Today was amazing. You had, oh, I'm sorry, Nina. I didn't mean to interrupt. Did you want to
I
go
was going
ahead?
to say thank you for the presentation because I got a lot from it. And also, yeah, if you have any questions in the chat, please put them there.
I just found
Anybody comes up with anything later, feel free to email it over.
I will definitely share your contact information with the students, but you shared amazing gems and really gave a great perspective of what's possible and what you were able to accomplish and the amazing great work you're doing right across the street. And we appreciate you very much for all of that and for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. And please, as these come up, send it over. All of us. I mean, there's 10 more of us. We just couldn't put everybody in a room, you know what I mean, who would be interested in chatting, you know what I mean? So if any of this stuff ever comes up, please reach out. Like I said, hopefully we'll be back in person here shortly.
Well, we definitely will be in touch. This has been an awesome opportunity for me too, to see the potential of partnership for us in the future. And we can't wait to come back. We are all waiting patiently, not really, but getting vaccinated and doing everything we can to get ready to return. So again, thank you all. And I will be in touch and I will definitely share information with this class. The students are giving your shout outs in the chat if you want to check that out.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
Take care.
Right,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.